Does this weekend adventure take us to the worst deluxe category room there is in all of Disney World? Come along, let's check it out. Welcome back to Once Upon a Weekend, your favorite weekend adventure channel. Please join our little community of adventure enthusiasts by hitting the like and subscribe button now. Ready for a little magic and adventure? Let's turn the page. If you've been adventuring with us long, you probably already recognized where we're headed. Yep, this weekend adventure brings us back to one of our favorite Disney World deluxe resorts. As we've already talked about, the Marriott resorts in the Epcot and Boardwalk area are owned by the Marriott, but they're on Disney property. So this means they are one of the Disney deluxe resorts. And the best part is they still come with all of the Disney perks, but they also come with the Marriott Bonvoy perks. My husband Brian and I are huge fans, and we stay here as often as we can snag a great deal. But it pains me to say that this stay was less than stellar, and it made me doubt my logic staying here. Let's take a tour and see why. Let us know in the comments if you would consider staying here. Here we are back at the Dolphin Resort in room 5010. This is a traditional standard double room, no view. I did request an upgrade, but it was not given. As you know, upgrades are never guaranteed, so we take them as they come. Any day in Disney is better than a day not at Disney, right? Our room was ready early. It's around 10:30, so that was a pleasant surprise. I often give out the travel advice to know what to expect and set your expectations accordingly. So I want to disclose that the Dolphin is a bit dated. It hasn't been renovated since, I don't know, maybe the early 2000s. You can really tell it in the finishes. I've been told by multiple cast members that the Dolphin is slated to be updated in the year 2026. So next year, hopefully, it will get these updates and refresh that it needs. However, we don't stay here because of it that it's new and fresh. We stay here because of the location and the great deals and those deluxe Disney perks combined with the Marriott Bonvoy perks. Also, these resorts are known for their heavenly beds, so you can expect that you're going to have a great night's sleep. Let's take a look and see what room 5010 has to offer. A lot will look very familiar to what you've already seen from the Swan. There's a vanity dressing area that is split across from the restroom. This area will have your makeup mirror that is magnifying on one side and it extends out. Also have your little beverage station with your coffee and all the accoutrements for your coffee. Because this is a Marriott Deluxe brand, there is complimentary water that is refillable upon request, ice bucket, cups, glasses, things that you will need. There is the Urbanista brand coffee, both decaf and regular, sugar, creamer, stirs, cups, coffee maker. All of these items would be replenished upon request. It's a great way to save money. There's also tea, and you can make just hot water with the coffee maker if you need it. To your right, by the light switch, there is a plug with the two USB ports in it that you may find convenient and helpful in charging your different devices. And underneath the vanity, you will find an open shelf for storage. And you kind of get a glimpse of the whole room right here. And this is where you'll kind of see what I mean when I say the room needs to be updated. Okay, and then to your right, you have your actual vanity sink. Lots of storage below. You have your basic hair dryer, not a very exciting hair dryer, so you might not be happy with that if you're picky about your hair dryer. And to your left, this is something that the Dolphin does have in most of their bathrooms, in my experience, is this little cubby hole shelf, which is really nice for me and unpacking and storing all of my things that I want in the restroom. I even use the very tip top shelf to store my things. On the shelf, you see the refillable bottle of lotion, and also at the Vanity, it's hand soap. It's their particular brand that is like, it's a very woodsy smell, but it's a generic smell as well. You can see in the restroom that it's a tight fit. This is one of the, you know, holdovers from the 80s, this design where the bathrooms are relatively small. It's a tight squeeze to close the door, but you can do it. It's not a deal breaker. There's the shower. It does not have, typically in my experience at the Dolphin, that does not have the breakaway shower wand. I really wish it did. It does have the drying clothesline that you can use to dry your bathing suit or other wet items. A standard tub. The backsplash has been updated and it's nice and clean. It's certainly adequate and comfortable enough to do. Again, those are your products that are supplied for you, all in refillable bottles. You have conditioner, shampoo, and body wash. I think it's worth reminding that the toilets are a little bit low, so if anyone in your party has accessibility issues, you may want to be aware of that. Like, let's say if you don't necessarily have trouble getting around and need a scooter, but you have trouble getting up and down, then that toilet can be an issue. Okay, let's go on in and take a look at the closet. Standard closet, there's no robes and there was no extra blankets or things like that. There is an iron and an ironing board and a wall safe. I am sure if I called to the front desk and asked for additional blankets, they would provide those for us, or pillows. And let's move on to the room. You'll see the very familiar credenza, which is in the Swan Hotel as well. There is storage. There's 4 storage drawers, are quite deep there. Adequate, more than adequate for the storage you should need. There's a lamp on top with some plugs and USB charging. Just be aware sometimes those get a little loose. You may have to bring an additional charger to have them hold in. There also is a refrigerator. There is not a freezer there, and it's actually probably more like a drink cooler, or a beverage cooler, but that is there for you. Often, most of the time, we find that there's already at least 2 bottles of water inside of the cooler for us, and they're cooled. You have your flat screen TV, your remote control. Those are our items there on the left. We do travel with a wagon. I highly recommend it. If you want to see more about that, y'all let me know in the comments and I'll be glad to show you how I pack, or how I attempt to pack. There's that rolling desk / table with the desk chair. Because it's a double room, there is only a sitting chair there. So double room, and the headboards mounted to the wall is there as well. All right, let's take a look at our view. Now, this is what the Dolphin means by no view. This in itself is not a deal breaker to me. It's, having a view that is not looking at the resort so you can tell what's going on. I don't mind looking at something that's a little unsightly like this is. This is where all the shipments and the employees come in and the trash is collected. I don't necessarily find it a problem that the site itself is unsightly. What I have a problem with, and what honestly ruined this and made it the worst deluxe room that I've ever stayed in all of Disney World, is the noise. This room, I guess that wall we're looking at, and then the wall of the building that I'm actually in, or the wing of the building that I'm actually in, form some sort of echo chamber thing. They just, oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how loud it was back there when the trash trucks or the different delivery trucks or anyone who was working out there, the noise that it made. It was very, very loud. And to me, that is a deal breaker. It was so loud that it woke me up from my nap. I forgot to mention that there is a bedside table there, and there are some charging ports in those lamps as well. Okay, this is when I actually got awakened around 3 o'clock. I was trying to take a nap. It was that loud. Constant beeping, constant crashing, banging, booming, clanging, I, engines revving, air brakes. It sounded, it was so loud. It almost sounded like the window was up. It was a lot. And it wasn't just for like a few seconds, it was for extended periods. It was loud enough to wake me up, who was tired from the heat and walking around, and who wears headphones. When I sleep, I wear a pair of headphones. So that was enough to wake me up. It was really bad, guys. It was really bad. If you you need your nap, or you have a child or someone in your party who needs to take a nap, this room will not necessarily be comfortable for you. And indeed, they are known for their heavenly beds, but there was nothing heavenly about either one of these beds. Both of us woke up with our hips sore, our tender, and so were our shoulders. We had a difficult time sleeping because the beds weren't very comfortable, and then the amount of noise. Not only the noise coming from this outside area that seemed to make echoes, it was the room itself where it was located is down a long hallway, and kids were you could hear kids running and yelling, and you could hear which that's what kids do. I'm not mad about kids running and yelling because that's what kids do, but I'm saying that it was like an echo because of the shape of the hallway. Any conversations that the adults or anyone who was passing by was having, it just seemed to float right through the door into the room with us. The workers, if they were closing a door or they were vacuuming, which I want them to do all of these things, but still, and it was so loud in the room, I could hear them even with the headphones on. Y'all, when I tell you this room was very noisy, it was noisy. It was, I'm going to show you um, the clip of, hopefully you can hear how loud the sounds are. I am not an overly picky person, but this room was bad for us. It was not a restful time. The resort itself was fine, but the location of this room and how loud the room was not good. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was like a water shut off or something, like a water main shut off. But when I went after this to go take a shower and get cleaned up for our evening, our dinner reservation, some reason the pipes spat and sputtered and spat out dirt and sand. And then it finally came out clean. But that wasn't a very good feeling at all. There was no notice that the water had been turned off or there had been some repairs. I know those kinds of things happen, y'all. But just, I don't know, make sure your guests are informed and are aware to set their expectations. And I'm still just sitting here amazed at how loud and noisy it was. And then I was looking for some hope, and I start noticing that the people coming in the doors, those are I've dined at that restaurant so much downstairs that I recognize the servers coming in. I was so excited to see them. So anyway, I don't know if that's good or bad that I could recognize them and call them by name. Okay, let's listen in to how noisy the trash trucks and different deliveries could be. So let's take a look at how long the hallway is. This is the end that's closest to Epcot. That side is not very long, but the other side is very long. The Dolphin Resort itself is broad and expansive, and I believe that's what's echoing down the hall. It's all the echoing from this corridor style hallway, and then you have to your left, you have these other feeder hallways that go way up, and I think it just amplifies and magnifies the noise that much more. I'll let you listen in. FYI. There are ice machines and lots of, do you hear that door slamming? Oh my god.
I think we finished bed. Hello.
Hi. It's okay. Thank you. So you hear all that noise. It's actually not that loud right now. Yesterday was pretty much horrible. Okay, so let's answer this question. Is this the worst deluxe resort room in all of Disney? While the pros in this hotel are plenteous, the location is wonderful. You can walk out the front door and walk straight to Epcot or Hollywood. It has the nicest staff and some of the best restaurants. The grounds are absolutely beautiful. The rooms are adequate and typically comfortable. And those deluxe perks stacked with the Marriott Bonvoy perks are not to be downplayed. I gotta say, for this room and this particular experience of this stay, the cons are quite strong. So let's review. Number one, the not so heavenly beds. Man, it was hard to sleep in these beds. They were uncomfortable. The noisy and loud surroundings, lots of slamming doors, lots of voices. Number three, the small bathroom, very tight and hard to get around. Number four, the long corridor hallway, which amplified all the noise. And number five, no deluxe feels at all, not even so much as extra water in the fridge. The verdict, I'm gonna call it. It's official. This has to be the worst deluxe category room in all of Disney. Thank you for watching. Thank you for adventuring with us. If you have not already, please like, subscribe. See you on the weekends.